is not special. It's part of human experience. It's painful, it's hard, but it's not special. You don't need special treatment. You don't need special attention. And don't make yourself special. Because once you make yourself special, you will not jump your head up. If you want to be treated with seriousness, take yourself seriously. People will judge your appearance before they judge your content. People will judge you by the way they see you before they determine what you can do. So make sure you dress well. Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews 12 from verse 1 and 2. Therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Everybody say, there is a race that is set before us. Say it again, there is a race that is set before me. Now, each one of us has a race that is set before us. Let's take it that this is the race that is set before you. Each one has a race. Some people it's 200, some 100, some 500, but it's a race that is set before you. It's your race. You must run it. God will drop all of us into life, and you come and drop here at the beginning of the race. And somebody drops at the beginning of his race. Somebody drops at the beginning of his race. But the race is set before you, and you have to move yourself along in order to increase your value as you move along. If you're not able to move, then you will get stuck at where you were dropped. Alright? Now, this place of beginning is not the same for everybody. Somebody where he was dropped was not good. It's in a drunkard's house. Somebody where he was dropped, house. Somebody where he was dropped is the 5th child of the 7th wife. That's where he was dropped. Your father doesn't even know your name, much less pay your fees. He has more children than his memory bank can accommodate. How many names can a human being remember anyway? So he doesn't know your name. He sees you by, and this is Akos's 4th son. Now, for the race that is set before us, there are obstacles. Everybody say obstacles. Now, I consider that race to be a steeplechase race. In a steeplechase, you are going long distance, and there are hurdles and there are water ponds. Hurdles. Everybody say hurdles. What is hurdle? Hurdle is something you must jump. And then you have the pond. Pond is something you must go through. So when you're running the steeplechase, you run a little and then you jump a little. And then when you jump into the water. You run through the water, you jump a little, you run a little, and so on and so forth. Each one has a race that is set before us. For somebody, he has to fight the obstacle of being orphaned young. I lost both of my parents. That's an obstacle. My mother died 1 year. The next year, my father was gone. Dead. Obstacle. You also may have obstacles. Education comes to an end. Obstacle. Nobody cares for you. Obstacle. You have problem learning at school. Obstacle. People take 5 minutes to learn and they get it. You take 10 hours to get it. It's an obstacle. In class, you are at the bottom. It's an obstacle. But that does not mean the race cannot be run. There are obstacles, but the race can be run. And the first thing the Bible says is that we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. That means there are people who have been where we are. Nobody's problem is special. Your poverty is not special. People have been poor before. You are just continuing the heritage of poverty. I mean, people were poor before you were born. People are poor whilst you are there, and people will be poor after you die. You are not the only one who has become an orphan. Some people lose their father before they are born, and their mother dies the day they are born, and they are put into an orphanage and mistreated. That's an obstacle. It doesn't mean they cannot run the race, but in order to run the race, they must jump the hurdle. And one of the ways in which you can jump your hurdle is not to make your problem special. Once you think my case is special, you think you need special attention. That's why people with little problem always go, make their face very morose. As for me, I don't talk. As for me, I know what I'm suffering. I won't talk. Because they want special attention. People go through life. Women go through life. They come, every time you hear the, as we say in Ghana, they are crying in their stomach. What has happened? My husband left me. It's an obstacle, my dear. You are not the first person whose husband left. You will not be the last. Next year, some people's husband will leave them. After this moment I'm preaching, somebody's husband is leaving. Your case is not special. It's part of human experience. It's painful, it's hard, but it's not special. You don't need special treatment. You don't need special attention. And don't make yourself special. Because once you make yourself special, you will not jump your head up. But when you accept it's part The Bible says we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witness. Then the second thing is, it says, lay aside every weight. Everybody say weight. Weight is load. And if you travel on an aircraft, weight is very important. If you carry too much of it, they call it excess baggage. And when you have excess baggage, if you don't have money to pay for excess baggage, your baggage will be dropped or you yourself will be dropped. Many of us go through life with weights. Excess baggage. Things that weigh you down. It could be the memory of the past. It could be the way you were treated by your stepmother. It could be something you experienced. It could be a character defect. It could be a character weakness. But it's a weight. And anytime you attempt to move in life, this weight sinks you. So your movement is very slow. Very slow. Some people's weight. And remember, weight is not necessarily a sin. We'll go to sin later, but weight is not a sin. A weight can be a very harmless thing, like even the way you eat. It can be a weight. If, for example, you want to be an international businessman, one of the requirements of international business, you go for dinners than you can remember. Now, if every time you eat, you make noise with your mouth. You eat and the food is dribbling all around your leg. When you are like that in your home, it doesn't matter. But the moment it comes to business, it becomes a weight. Because somebody is signing a contract with you and says, oh, let's go for dinner. And there you are at the dinner table. They serve the food. You dig your fork in, you cut with your knife into your mouth, and all these sounds are coming out. Sound. The guy you're doing the business with is not going to lift his head. He just looks at you from the top of his eye like that. He looks at you like that. And whilst he's looking at you, he's making decisions. He's calculating. I don't think this guy is trustworthy. I don't think I can trust him. By the time the lunch is over, he says, Mr. So-and-so, we had a good time. I will talk to my partners about it. That's the end. So it can be a weight. It's not a sin, but it's a bad habit that keeps you from accessing the opportunities that are ahead of you. Some people's weight can even be their dressing. Do you know that in life you will be addressed by the way you dress? When a doctor dresses, you call him doctor. You can check by his dressing. You see a nurse, you see him by her dressing. You see a teacher, they don't have uniform, but you can see a teacher and say, that's a teacher. I'm not going to describe a teacher's dress, but you just see the man, you say, that's a teacher going over there. If you want to be treated with seriousness, take yourself seriously. People will judge your appearance before they judge your content. People will judge you by the way they see you before they determine what you can do. So make sure you dress well. Don't be extravagant, but dress neat, sharp, and appropriate. If you're going for a business meeting and you know that everybody's going to wear a suit and tie, and you wear track suits, is a suit alright? It's for the track, and they're not going to do jogging there. This is business meeting. If you wear a track suit, you've cancelled yourself. Now, when you are very rich, you can afford to wear a tracksuit to a business meeting. People will call you eccentric, and they will even love your eccentricity. And when you are now accessing opportunity, you have to obey all the rules. It is only when you get there that you can change the rules and let it suit you. But when you are accessing, you have to make sure you obey the rules. So bad dressing can be a weight. Some people is their temper, anger. When they get angry, they can't control themselves. These are the kind of people who get a job. They pray, oh God, give me a job. Oh God, give me a job. God opens a big job. And then they have a boss who is impossible. And this boss, every boss, tries to be impossible, throws his weight about it. And this brother who prayed for his job, he's so full of anger. One day he gets up, goes to the boss's office and says, sir, if nobody will say it, I will say it. And I have to let you know, you can't treat us like that. We are not animals. The boss listens to you. Okay, thank you, sir. And after your anger has cooled down, you go and sit down. A letter follows you when you are sober. And the letter is a nice letter. Mr. So-and-so, we thank you so much for your services to the company. In view of the current restructuring going on in our company and the global uncertainty based on September the 11th, we want to say that from today, your services have been dispensed with. Thank you for the quality time you spent here. It's a nice way of saying you are sacked. Now, why did he get sacked? Because he has an anger that is a weight. You start moving forward and it pulls you back. And a lot of us in life are weighted by so many. And then the Bible also says, take care of the sin that easily ensnares you.
Clean that up, you son of a... Clean it!
It have take care of this. Now, go to Genesis chapter 49.
Hello there. If you're loving this video, please like and subscribe for more of wisdom and wealth.
It talks about a man called Reuben. Now, if Reuben is your name here, don't think it's personal. But Reuben had a peculiar character. Okay, look at what Jacob, the father of Reuben, says about him. He said, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it, he went up to my couch. 5 things are said positively about Reuben. He had 5 major assets, and later on you discover 2 major liabilities. 5 major assets, 2 major liabilities. What are the 5 major assets? 1, it says you are the firstborn. He was the firstborn, and in the culture he lived in at that time, if you are the firstborn, you receive a double portion of the father's inheritance. That means if the father gives everybody 5, he'll give you 10. You get double of what everybody gets. So being firstborn was a very good position in birth. Secondly, he represented the might of his father. Thirdly, he represented the beginning of his father's strength. Number 4, he was excellent in dignity. Number 5, excellent in power. Firstborn, beginning of strength, beginning of might and power, excellent in dignity, excellent in power. A person who has these qualifications seems to have automatic success. He is in the 5 category. Everything is working for him. He's a firstborn, he's a father's strength, he's a father's might, he's excellent in power, he's excellent in dignity. That means that if you saw Reuben, he looked dignified. He's one of those kind of people who have gray hair in the right place. See, do you know dignified gray hair? You have just a little at the corner of the head here and a little in front of the hair over there. The dignity. I mean, if the man has nothing and he has that kind of gray hair, he stands somewhere, you just believe him that he has something. Dignity. Tall, divorce, dresses well, dignity, excellence in dignity, excellence in firstborn. And yet, look at what the Bible says about him. Excellency of dignity, excellency of power, you shall not excel. Excellent dignity, excellent power, you shall not excel. Now, that seems a contradiction. If the person is excellent in dignity and excellent in power, it must carry that he must excel. But it says excellent in dignity, excellent in power, but you shall not excel. Why? Because he had the first liability, unstable water. All these great attributes he had, there was a weight that was weighing him down in spite of all his excellence, and it was called instability or inconsistency. He's not consistent. Reuben one day is good, the next time you can't predict him. Unpredictable, unstable, inconsistent. There are people who are excellent, but you can't trust one word that comes out from their mouth. Meet me at 7, he comes at 9:30. Oh, I will give you the letter by tomorrow morning. It comes next year. Unstable as water. Trust me, my friend, my word is my bond. Don't trust him. When he says look down, you look up. When he says sit down, you rise. Because nothing of his is stable. Unstable temper, unstable temperament, unstable focus in life, inconsistency in character. Then the second liability of Reuben is that he is a defiler. The Bible says he defiled his father's bed. A defiler is someone who takes something that is good and perverts it. He takes good things and uses them wrongly. If he is wise, he becomes a crook. If he's intelligent, he cheats with his intelligence. That is defilement. He's a defiler. He defiled his father's bed. That was a very serious offense. We are not too sure what it was. The first interpretation people give to that was that he went to sleep with his father's concubine. He had sexual relations with his father's concubine. This is a man with excellent dignity, excellent power, committing incest. Others also believe he didn't commit incest, but he overthrew the bed of his father's and his father's wife. Because, Reuben was the child of Leah. And if you know the story of Jacob and his wives, Jacob didn't like Leah, although he was the older wife and so on, but he didn't like her. He liked Rachel. Bilhah, Jacob's wife, Rachel's maidservant, was one of the concubines that was given to Jacob. Now, Rachel died, and many people believe the reason why Reuben behaved the way he behaved is that Jacob replaced Rachel with Bilhah instead of Reuben's mother, Leah. So, the bed that his father and Bilhah, his stepmother, slept on, one day, Reuben got angry, unstable as water. Excellent in power, but unstable. One day he got angry, he went to his father's bedroom, took the bed, and threw it out. And his father said, you are excellent in dignity, excellent in power, but you shall not excel because you are unstable as water. When you are angry, you have no boundaries. When you are upset, you don't know where to stop. You don't know what to say and what not to say. You don't know whom to offend and whom not to offend. And because of that, although you have great things, you shall not excel. Many people have excellence in gifts, in talent, in skill, but end up not too long long ago, we had a great world heavyweight boxing champion, the youngest in the history of heavyweight boxing. This guy was knocking out everybody, knocking out people as old as his father, knocking them out. Became world heavyweight boxing champion very young, but unstable as water. One moment you hear outside the ring, he's beating up people. Next moment, he has crashed his car. Next moment, he's raping a beauty contestant. Excellent in power, unstable as water, you shall not excel. There's another man, excellent in skill, good footballer, probably the greatest footballer of all time. He could score with his feet as well as his hands. Excellent. This is a man who could take the ball from the center circle and literally walk it through to the goal post. Okay. Excellent in power, excellent in dignity, unstable as water, you shall not excel. Some of you have excellent dignity, excellent power, excellent ability, but you are not excelling. You know why? Unstable as water. There is a liability in your life which keeps pulling you down every time, and you've not gained control over. And until you gain control over it, there will be many things before you, great potential, but you stay at one point. Instead of moving to increase your value, you stay at one point, and some people actually go backward. They become fractions and decimals. Whatever life gives you, the placement of your life as a dot is what determines the value. Life can give you bitterness, you can turn it into sweetness. Life can give you rejection, you can turn it into acceptance. Life can give you poverty, you turn it into prosperity. On the other hand, life can give you opportunity, you turn it into destruction. Life can give you wealth, you turn it into self-destruction. It's not what life gives you, it's where you position yourself on the roadmap of life. You are a dot on a journey. No matter where you begin from, if you are able to move forward and you get the weight out of your life and you begin to add skill through time usage, you will move forward and nothing will be able to hold you down. Tell your neighbor, I am a dot on assignment.